This is my review of the Veikk A30. This is a speeded up version of the unpacking. There's the tablet in its protective case, the USB cable, and the stylus, which comes in a very handy little felt cover, which is a nice touch. There they all are. There's the pen nib remover, the start guide, the USB cable, the stylus, the tablet itself, and the blue thing there is not a DVD, even though it looks like it. It's instructions as to how to download the driver from their website, which I highly recommend you do. Once you have uninstalled any other drivers, you need to install theirs, and then you can go in to program the function buttons on the stylus itself. You can correct or alter the pressure to suit yourself in terms of how you handle it. There's also the ability to select which monitor you want the tablet to work with if you have more than one monitor, and at the same time you can even select which part of the monitor you want it to work with if you so wish. I don't really do that. I use the whole of the monitor. It's just a lot easier. Then there are the function keys and the touch strip at the side, so you have 4 little touch buttons, and you also have finger gestures that you can, and they're all configurable. You can configure them however you wish, and I'll say a little bit about that more later. So here I am, I'm just giving it a little test run, nothing specific. This is just a little illustration that I've been working on, and I'm just testing the pressure of it more than anything else, and it feels nice in the hand. The stylus is comfortable, easy to use. The tablet itself is smooth and feels good. There's a slight little scratchy noise, but that's nothing that I'm not used to. It's inevitable. You would get that even if you were using charcoal or pencil on a piece of paper, so that's not a distraction as such. But it does feel nice, and the fact that it's I'm looking at the screen and I'm working on a tablet. It's interesting that there's no real lag with that. It's all very immediate and very easily controllable, and certainly if you're not used to using a tablet, you'll get used to it very quickly. I tend to use monitor tablets with my desktop for the illustration that I do, and I purchased this one to be used with my MacBook, which I'll say a little bit about in a moment. But yeah, so you can see for fine pencil work, brush work, it's really helpful. You can use the stylus as anyway you would use a mouse, so you can select everything you want to. There's no need to be putting the stylus down and using a mouse to select things. It's all very configurable. Even with the buttons on it, you can choose to use the buttons like mouse buttons, so you can right click and left click and so forth, and that's all configurable, as I said, in the software that comes with it. So yeah, I found that it was a nice experience using it. There were no real issues with it. The installation of the driver was very straightforward, but I have to impress on you that you do need to uninstall any other tablet drivers that you may have had on your computer, because if you don't, there'll be conflicts. But that's not a problem. Just uninstall, then install their software, and it all works really well. So yeah, I like the feel of it. I like the response of it. I was just doodling around, really testing the pressure and the smoothness of the line and the accuracy of the line as much as anything, and I certainly had no problem with any of it. I'm not trying to be Picasso here. I'm just basically using the stylus to get a feel for the application of the paint, etc. And as I say, I found it really interesting and worked well for me. But as I said, the reason I got this tablet is because although I probably will occasionally use it with my desktop, the advantage as I see it for me is to be able to use it with my laptop, with my MacBook Air, so that if I'm in another room, for example, I can work on my MacBook Air with this tablet, and I've installed the drivers onto my MacBook Air, and it works perfectly well with that. It's not there's no issues there, so I can sit in the living room with the tablet on my knee, laptop on the table, and work quite freely there. And also I can take it out, as I have done. I can take it down to the coffee shop or into the library or whatever, and it's really useful if you want something like that. And also it is a useful graphics tablet if you are not in a position to be able to buy one of the more popular graphics monitors now, where you draw directly onto the monitor as you might do with an iPad or a Surface Pro or whatever. So yeah, I certainly recommend it. I think it's well built. It's certainly light, which is a bonus when you're carrying it out with you in your backpack, and it's a nice piece of equipment, and I wouldn't have any hesitation recommending it to anybody that was looking for a tablet to go further with their graphic art and illustration. I use it with Clip Studio, as I've already said, which used to be called Manga 5, and I use it with Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. I got my tablet from Amazon, and it arrived next day and on Prime, and was packaged really well. As you saw in the unboxing, there's not a lot to it in terms of what you get is your tablet, USB cable, stylus, spare nibs, nib remover, and a manual as to how to install and use it. But yeah, it's definitely worth starting out with, and I would recommend it if you are in the market for getting yourself a nice, lightweight, functional, touch-sensitive tablet. Thanks for watching.